Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Shane here, and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the New York Knicks coming into this next season, and boy, they are looking tough. Now, as you may know, if you haven't been living under a rock for the past few days, the Knicks just acquired Karl Anthony Towns, sending the Timberwolves Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first-round pick. Now, no one's seen this coming. I didn't see this coming. No one had this on their bingo board. Nobody expected this to happen. It was crazy. It happened out of nowhere. But I think with this addition of Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks, they'll be much, much better, at least on offense. I don't know about defense because Cat isn't like a good defender. He's not horrible, but he's not good for a big man. So I don't know how that fit is going to look. But regardless, Cat is an amazing player. He's a great shooter, which is going to give the Knicks a 5-out offense, which is going to be huge for Jalen Brunson. He's going to have much more space to operate and score, which he's been needing because he's a heavy paint scorer. And the Knicks didn't have great spacing last year, but now with Cat and a 5-out offense, they're going to be insane. Their starting lineup is most likely going to be Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Cat, which is amazing. And I honestly think they can be the second seed. I already said this in my predictions video about the East standings, but I definitely think they can be better than Philly now. They have more depth, and I just think they're a better team on paper. Now, we don't know how this is going to work in the season, but so far they're looking better than Philly, and they're in that second tier of teams right behind Boston, at least in the Eastern Conference. So I think they can make a lot of noise. They can honestly make a deep playoff run too. I still don't think they're beating the Celtics, but they might be one of the most equipped teams in the East, at least, to beat the Celtics. You know, they have two great defensive wings in OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. And now they have their Kristaps Porzingis and Karl Anthony Towns, who is a stretch five big, who can score really well. He can defend a little bit. And he'll probably look better next to Mitchell Robinson if they decide to do that double big lineup, which I think they should do at times, because Mitchell Robinson is like sort of similar to Rudy Gobert in his defensive ability as well as offense, even though he's a much less offensive player, or I should say much worse offensive player and defensive player. So I don't know how that's going to work and how hidden Cat's flaws are going to be on defense, seeing that. But regardless, they're still going to be a great defensive team. You can't be a bad defensive team when you have OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges on your team. So, and if Cat can be a good defender, it'll really make up for Jalen Brunson's defensive abilities, because he's really lacking in that area. And if Cat can be a good defender and keep defenders out of the paint, then it'll make Jalen Brunson look much, much better on defense. Now, we could discuss the Timberwolves part of this trade. And me personally, I believe they lost the trade. I don't really like Julius Randle's fit in Minnesota. I like Cat's, and I thought they were going to run it back because, you know, seeing that you had Cat for, it's been like 9 years now. He's been through the thick of it, the ups, the downs. They were trash for so many years, and he was playing there. He brought them back to like a good place, but got overshadowed by Ant. And now when they finally have success, they go to the Western Conference Finals. They have their best season since KG, and they decide to trade him. I know that's like really tough for Cat, but regardless, it's a business, and they had to make it work with the money, so they have to trade Cat. But I don't really like Julius Randle's fit here. He's not as good of a shooter as Cat, which will like really mess up the spacing, seeing that him and Rudy Gobert might clog the paint at times and make it harder for Ant to score in the paint. But I mean, they'll still be a good team, probably top 4 in the West. I just don't think they'll be as good now that they have Julius Randle instead of Cat. But the Timberwolves are still going to be great. I think Ant is going to play amazing next season, and he's going to make them good regardless. Also, they got Dante DiVincenzo, who is most likely going to be coming off the bench. I'm assuming their starting lineup is going to be Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. That's the most logical. And then they can have Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench, which is a great bench piece and was going to be a bench piece for the Knicks. And I believe he wasn't even happy with the role that he was going to have on the Knicks with the reduced minutes after the addition of Mikal Bridges So it was inevitable he'd get less minutes. But now he'll be coming off the bench in Minnesota. He'll get more minutes, but like not a lot because he'll still be coming off the bench. But he'll be a great piece for that team, and he'll definitely be in the rotation and play important minutes and be a big piece for them in the playoffs. I definitely like it more for the Timberwolves than I did when the trade first happened, because when it first happened, it was really like puzzling to me why they even made the move in the first place. But I think Julius Randle, he could be solid for the Wolves. Like, he won't be too bad. I think he can, if he stays healthy and doesn't drop in the playoffs, he'll be an all-star and be a critical piece for them in the playoffs. I mean, if he does play in the playoffs, obviously he'll be like an important piece. But if he doesn't choke finally again this year, I think he could be pretty decent, and he could probably put up like 24 and 9 in the regular season. I don't know if he'll help their defense, because just like Cat, Julius Randle isn't really a great defender. They're really similar players. Like, aren't great defenders. I mean, they can both stretch the floor as bigs. They both drop in the playoffs, which is really bad. And I forgot to mention that for Cat. Cat is a playoff dropper. I mean, he has some good games at times in the playoffs. Like last year, he played pretty good in some games, but he also had a lot of stinkers. But if Cat and Randle can do good in the playoffs, it'll bring the Knicks and Timberwolves really, really far. Another flaw that Cat has is the fouling. If he can foul less and not get into foul trouble really early in the game, I think he can be really effective on defense and actually be a good piece for them when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. But going back to that Mitchell Robinson and Cat lineup thing, I don't think Mitchell Robinson is going to play in the beginning of the season. So Cat will have to start at the 5 and will have to anchor the defense, which will be kind of iffy for the Knicks. Like, I don't know how they're going to start off defensively. Maybe Tibbs can make him a better defender, seeing that he's a defensive-minded coach and really won't go for like a bad defensive center. Even though Dante DiVincenzo had huge moments for the Knicks last year, for example, hitting that game winner against my Sixers in the playoffs, which hurt me a lot, and that was crazy. But regardless, even though he had those big moments in the playoffs and in the regular season, I don't think like he's that big of a loss for the Knicks. But he is a pretty good addition to the Timberwolves, and I like it for them. I know a lot of Knicks fans don't really like the trade and like to hate, and a lot of people in general just like to hate on Karl-Anthony Towns as a player. I don't really like him as a player. I think he's great on offense and will definitely make the Knicks offense better, like objectively, like it's not even like a debate. But you guys let me know how you feel about this trade for the Knicks and the Timberwolves in the comments below. And with that being said, I'll see you guys later.